Hello, I'm glad you're joining me today. We're going to be learning about the letter I. I think Sue wanted to say hello before we get started. Sue, did you want to come out and say hello? Sue, can I ask you a question? Do you like penguins? Well, we're going to learn about penguins today. We're also going to learn about igloos. Do you know what an igloo is? An igloo is a house and it's made of ice and snow. At the end of today, we're going to read a story, and it's about Curious George, and he wants to make an igloo. Do you want to sit down, Sue, so we can get started? Okay, so let's start with our letter for today, which is the letter I. This is what letter I looks like. This is the uppercase I and the lowercase I. The uppercase I is so easy to write. It's just 3 little lines. So let me show you what I mean. If you have some paper, you might want to try to write an I too. You're just going to make a number 1 like this. And then you're going to give it a top and give it a bottom. See, I told you that was easy. It's just 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Let's try to write the uppercase I on the handwriting house. It's even easier if you use the handwriting house because you can trace the top and the bottom lines. Okay, let's give it a try. So we're going to make a number 1. And then we're going to give it a top and give it a bottom. Do you see how I can trace the top line and the bottom line? Number 1, give it a top, give it a bottom. This is the uppercase I. You can practice it. And if you don't have paper right now, you can skywrite 1 with a top and a bottom. Okay, so now let's talk about the lowercase I. Lowercase I looks like a tiny number 1, and then it has a ball. When you play with a ball, do you sometimes toss it up into the air? Well, that's what the lowercase I looks like. Let's take a look. So we're going to make a small number 1, and then we're going to toss a ball up into the air above it. Now, I've been teaching for some years and it never fails that some students don't want to toss that ball up. They want to do like this and keep the ball down low. But let's toss that ball, okay? Let's try it. So number 1, and then toss the ball up into the air. That's the lowercase I. On the handwriting house, we're going to toss that ball upstairs. The little number 1 is going to be downstairs. And then we're going to toss the ball upstairs right in the middle. Number 1, and then toss the ball. Toss the ball. Make sure that your little number 1 sits on the bottom. And then you're going to toss the ball upstairs, middle of the upstairs. Number 1, and toss the ball. Number 1, and toss the ball. Okay, that's the lowercase I. If you want to skywrite it, you can. 1, and then toss the ball. Make a dot way up at the top. Okay, so that's what the I looks like. And now we're going to talk about what I sounds like. So for that, I like to talk about the vowel people whenever we learn about a vowel. I is a vowel. It's one of those special letters. There are 5 of them. A, E, I, O, U. Did you hear me say I? It's a vowel. So this is one of the vowel people. This is my friend I. And my friend I loves lollipops. He eats lollipops for breakfast. He eats lollipops for lunch. He even eats lollipops for dinner. But when he eats all those lollipops, he gets pretty icky and sticky. Look at him. And he says, eh, eh, eh. That's what I says. Can you try that? Take your hand and do this. Eh, eh, eh. Now I want to see if you can find a lowercase I hiding in the picture. Can you spot the little I hiding? It's right here. It's his lollipop. Very good. See? His lollipop looks like the little letter I. So I'm hoping that when you see a lowercase or little I, especially when you start to read, I hope you just remember that I kind of looks like that lollipop and I says I, I. Well, we're not going to be doing any blending today because we blend with I every day. It's one of the vowels. So instead, we're going to be listening to see if we can hear I in the middle of the word. Lots of words have I in the middle. So I want you to get your thumb ready. You're going to give me a thumbs up if you hear I in the middle of the words I say, or a thumbs down if you don't hear an I in the middle. Okay, get your thumb ready. Okay, the first word is big. Do you hear I in the middle? Big, big. I hear an I. Let's get a thumbs up because I is in the middle of big. Okay, let's try again. Thumbs down, get ready. Fit. It. Fit has an I in the middle. Thumbs up. Okay, thumbs down. Here we go again. Hot. Hot. Thumbs down. I hear ah. Hot. That's letter O. Thumbs down. Okay, thumbs ready. Get your thumb back up and ready. Tin. Tin. Thumbs up. I hear I. You want to hear it again? In. Tin. Thumbs up. Okay, thumbs down right here. Get ready. Let's try this one. Pig. Pig. Thumbs up. Pig has an I in the middle. Pig. Okay, thumbs down. Get ready. Bat. Bat. Thumbs down. I hear at, as in at you. That's letter A. Thumbs down. One more. Get your thumb ready. Sip. Sip. Thumbs up. Sip has an I in the middle. You did a great job with middle sounds. Now for math today, we're going to do something fun. I want to tell you something before we begin though. These are the continents all around the world, and this one down here is called Antarctica. So in Antarctica, there's something that starts with an I in Antarctica. It's an igloo. Igloos are in Antarctica, but also some penguins are in Antarctica. 5 species of all the different species of penguins come from Antarctica. So I thought we would feed some penguins today for our math time. Penguins like to eat fish, but penguins love fish. They don't want just a few fish. They want more, more, more. They want a lot of fish. So today we're going to do a greater than and less than activity. We're going to try to feed the penguins more fish, not less. So the penguin's mouth is open. Take a look at this. His mouth is open and he's ready to eat. We're going to count and see which side has more fish. That's what he wants. He wants more, not less. So let's count over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 fish over here. Let's count on the other side. 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 fish here. Which is more, 4 or 3? 4 is more. We say it like this. We say 4 is greater than 3. Do you see that the mouth up here, it looks like a penguin mouth. It's open to the 4. And our penguin down below, his mouth is also open. He's ready to eat these fish. Yum, 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 yum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is greater than 3. Okay, let's do another one, okay? Let's feed another penguin. I think he's hungry. Let's see the next slide. This one has Let's count and see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish over here. And on the other side, 1, 2. 2 fish. Which is more? Oh my goodness, you're right. 5 is more. So we need to move this mouth so that it's open to 5. 5 is more or greater than 2. So let's turn the penguin around. Penguin, there's more on this side. 5 is greater than 2. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's try to feed this penguin some more fish. Wow, that's a lot of fish. Let's count and see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 fish over here. Let's count the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 fish on this side. So which is greater or more, 7 or 8? 8 is more, so we need to move this mouth so that it's open to the 8. And in fact, we also need to move our penguin. He's turned the wrong way too. There you go, penguin. That's more. 7 is less than 8. 8 is more. Okay, let's feed one more penguin. Let's see if we can see the last slide. This one's easy. Let's count how many fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 fish right here. And how many on this side? 1. So let's see if our penguin's mouth is open the right way. Which is more, 6 or 1? 6 is more, that's right, or greater. 6 is greater than 1. So I think we need to turn our penguin around too. He's facing the wrong way. Penguin, I bet you want 6. 6 is greater than 1. Nice job today. Now, there's something else you should know about penguins. Sometimes they get lost. And today for our shape practice, there are some penguins and they are lost. We need to help them find their way home. So let's take a look at these igloos. The first igloo says square. So can you look at these penguins and can you find the square penguin? That's his home. The first igloo is his home. Where's the square? A square has 4 sides and all the sides are the same. There he is. There's the square penguin. Oh, he looks so happy. He's home. The next igloo says circle. Can you find the circle penguin? A circle is round with no sides and no corners. There's the circle. Good job. The next igloo says rectangle. Can you find the rectangle penguin? A rectangle has 2 sides short and 2 sides long. Rectangle. There it is. Oh, I see it too. There it is. Oh, he's so happy to be home. The next igloo says triangle. Can you spot the triangle penguin? A triangle has 3 sides. There it is. Oh, look at that triangle penguin. He is so excited. He's at home. Finally, the last igloo says oval. An oval looks like an egg. Can you see a penguin that looks like an egg? Yes, of course, right there. Wow, you did such a great job helping me get all the penguins to their houses. Okay, now we're going to talk about a color. Our color for today is the color that I'm wearing. What color is this? This is blue. And so in our science experiment today, we're going to be making some blue crystal snowflakes. So I thought we would do the color blue for today, but the song says oceans are blue. Do you think that we could change it just for today and say snowflakes are blue? I know not all snowflakes are blue. Mostly snowflakes are white. But today, since we're making blue snowflakes, we'll say snowflakes are too. All right, here we go. B-L-U-E spells blue. B-L-U-E spells blue. Hi-ho, did you know? B-L-U-E spells blue. The big sky is blue. Snowflakes are too. Hi-ho, did you know? B-L-U-E spells blue. Okay, so I wanted to give you an idea for your art project for today. All you need is a milk jug. So if you want to make an igloo from a milk jug, you just cut the milk jug in half, get a grown-up to help with that, and then take the bottom of the milk jug and turn it over. And then you can cut a little doorway in the little igloo. This is so cute. An igloo is a house that's made of ice and snow, so it might be fun to also glue on some cotton balls all over your igloo. That would be a really cute art project for today. Okay, so now for our science. I am so excited about this. We're going to be making a snowflake crystal in a jar. So first we just need a jar, and then we need 2 cups of hot water. The water should be really hot and even boiling if you can, so definitely get a grown-up to help with this part. So hot water is inside. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some of this into the jar. This is called borax. Now, borax can be found in the store where you get the soap to wash your clothes, the laundry detergent aisle. That's where borax is found. And so we have 2 cups of water in this jar. So we're going to need to add 6 tablespoons of borax. I'll show you what a tablespoon looks like. This is a tablespoon. So will you help me count 6 and put them into the jar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more, 6. Okay, so we have 6 tablespoons of borax. And now I want our snowflake to be blue, so I'm going to drop in some blue food coloring. 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's stir this around with a spoon. B-L-U-E spells blue. B-L-U-E spells blue. Hi-ho, did you know? B-L-U-E spells blue. The hot water will make the borax dissolve. You can see my water wasn't quite as hot as it needed to be, but this is still going to be a really cool snowflake that we're going to make. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is get our snowflake ready. You're going to need some pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners look like this, and you're going to need 3 little pieces of pipe cleaner. So there's 1, 2. The pipe cleaners need to be able to fit inside of the jar, so make sure that you cut them so that they'll fit inside. You can always trim them later if they're too big. Okay, so I have 3 little pieces of pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to twist them in the middle. There we go. And then I'm going to stretch out the pipe cleaners like this. What does it look like already? It already looks like a snowflake, but we're going to make it even cooler. The next thing we're going to do is just tie some string to the snowflake right in the middle. Okay, to the other end of this snowflake, we're going to tie a stick. Now I'm using a popsicle stick, but you can use any stick that you want. It could be like a pencil, or you could go outside and get a stick. That would be just fine too. So let's just tie this string to the stick just like that. Okay, there's a little piece of string right here hanging. on my snowflake. So I'm just going to trim that extra string off. Okay, I think it's ready to dip into our glass of the borax water. So all you have to do is lower it down, and the stick helps to hold it so it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this overnight. And do you want to see what it's going to look like? Okay, I have one that I did yesterday, and it's been sitting all night long. And so let's pull it up and see what happened. I think there are some crystals that were growing on the pipe cleaner. Let's look and see. Oh, wow. Take a look at this. What a pretty snowflake. Look at all those crystals that formed. That is really, really pretty. So crystals are pretty cool. They are made up of flat sides, but the molecules, the tiny things that make up the crystals they have patterns that repeat. So they make really cool shapes. Did you know that borax is a tiny crystal? If you could see it under the microscope, you'd see that. And even salt and sugar is. If you could look at salt under the microscope, it looks like a cube. So crystals are pretty cool. God made crystals really orderly and orderly repeated patterns, so they make really cool shapes. And if you want to know how they formed on the pipe cleaner, that's because the hot water has molecules that kind of spread out, move around, but as they cool, they kind of go back together. And so as the water cooled, it all kind of came back together and formed onto the pipe cleaner. It kind of more and more crystals just kind of clumped together on the pipe cleaner. That was pretty neat, a pretty cool science experiment. I have a story for us to read today, and it's about Curious George. Do you know who Curious George is? Curious George is a monkey, and I think you're gonna like this story. Curious George wants to build an igloo. Let's see what happens to him. Curious George builds an igloo. It was a beautiful winter morning. George was up early. Next door, his friend Bill was up too. Bill was building a house out of snow. It's called an igloo, Bill said. I'm going to sleep in it tonight. George wanted to help. He also wanted to sleep in the igloo. It would be a lot of fun. George tried stacking some blocks of snow. It was not easy. They kept slipping and sliding. First, you make a circle in the snow, said Bill. The snow blocks go around the circle. This makes a sturdy base for more snow blocks to go on top. Bill showed George how to stack snow blocks on top of the base. Around and around they went until there was only a hole left at the top. The last piece is called a keystone, Bill said. It keeps all the other snow blocks in place. You have to fill in the cracks, Bill said. This keeps the igloo nice and warm inside. They smoothed out the snow blocks. Bill and George filled all the spaces with snow. George was impressed, but Bill's igloo was a little small. George wanted to build his own igloo, a big igloo that could fit his bed and some friends and maybe even a party with music. George got to work. This time he made the circle bigger. He stacked the snow blocks around and around, just as Bill had taught him. George worked on his igloo until the sun went down. It was a big igloo. It even had a window. But George was a tired monkey. He did not have time to fill all the cracks with snow. The man with the yellow hat helped move George's warm bed into the igloo. George bundled up and went to sleep. But soon George woke up. He was very cold. The window was drafty. The cracks were letting the cold air in. George really wanted to spend the night in the igloo. What could he do? Then George had an idea. The man had told George to come inside if he got cold, so George worked quickly and built a new igloo in his living room. It was nice and warm inside the house. He crawled into his new igloo and went to sleep again. The living room was the perfect temperature for sleeping, but it was too warm for a house made of snow. George's indoor igloo began to melt. When George woke up the next morning, his igloo had melted. It had turned into a big puddle and a big mess to clean up. Lucky for George, his outdoor igloo was still standing. The big igloo was too cold for sleeping, but it was just right for a party. George and his friends spent the whole winter playing in his big igloo until it melted away in the spring. Well, I hope you have a fun day today. Don't forget you can make an igloo out of a milk jug. And if you'd like to, you can even make a snowflake crystal. That would be so fun too. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.